The fourth match week of VCT Americas is just completed, and the playoff spots are filling up quick. So let's take a look at what teams have locked in their spots and who is looking at the top of their game.
Guys are so bad, bro.
The first day of the weekend gave us a pretty big matchup in Group Alpha, 100 Thieves versus 2G. On one side, 2G were coming off of a pretty rough game against Crew. Despite pushing the series to a third map with a clean win on Ascent, 2G got demolished on Pearl by Crew, putting them at 1-2 in their group. On the other side, 100T were looking like they were slowly improving and coming into a decent form after a win over Loud, and if they won this match against 2G, it would lock in the North Americans for playoffs. If 2G were to win this series though, it would leave both teams at 2-2 and make their week 5 matches do or die. The first map Ascent would be the first time we'd see the map from the Thieves this stage, and they'd come in with a pretty interesting choice, being the only team to pick KJ on this map in stage 1. This map would start with 2G on attack, and they would immediately pull ahead with a 6-2 lead. And with how defense-sided this map is, any more rounds for 2G would be a death sentence for 100 Thieves. 100C would bring this half back though, tying the score at 6-6 going into the second.
Not quite able to follow. Cryo still holding towards a side! Spring! Them all down! In through short. 100T's want to take this one, all just tripled up together, finally revealing the hand. LT finds that first one. Just needs to ISO these fights here. Round to the side, and it's good movement.
100T would open the second half with a pistol win, but an eco for 2G would allow them to slightly pull ahead in this half at 9-11. 100T would push the map to overtime though, where they would go on to take the map at 15-13. Nice Boosty! 5v3! Dude, look at where he is! He's in their spawn! Yes! Last two guys are on A. And Boosty's in their spawn, bro. Good kill, good kill, good kill. 1v4. Relax. Nice! Come on! The second map, Icebox, would start hot for 2G, with the Brazilians opening with a pistol, anti-eco, and bonus win, looking primed to start with a 4-0 lead on the map. 100 Thieves IGL Boostio would have something to say about this though. Good shot, Boostio. That gun was grabbable, bro. Wait, good shot, Boosty. This guy's really low. This guy's really low. We get the kill. Get the kill. Nice. Nice. Main. He's main. Yo, reload your gun, bro. You have time. My IGL's acing on your feet. And this ace would start a strong recovery for the Thieves, going up at 7-5 in the half and closing it out with another massive round from Boostio.
Oh,
Flash! Nice, Boosty.
It's just a one-man army. He's got the support. Laying on from the side.
Oh my gosh, he's stunned! 3K? Yo, relax. Oh, never mind! The second half would once again start with the pistol win from 2G, but 100 Thieves would yet again pick up an eco win.
Here's some space, up across the ropes again, sneaking, crawling, that's the Asuna special!
And this time, the Thieves would run away with the map, taking 6 rounds in a row to close the map at 13-6, giving them the series at 2-0, and securing their spot in the playoffs. The second series of the day was G2 versus Leviatan, which was quite interesting going in. This match wouldn't matter much for G2, as they were already qualified for the playoffs, but as we've seen in interviews, they want to hold on to their regional undefeated streak and make sure they are dominating the region.
There's been a lot of talk after the MIBR game, like how the rest of the league is getting close to us. Like, I told the guys, like, let's make sure we keep that gap and let's increase that gap. So,
on the other side, Leviatan were coming off of their first win of the stage, which was quite clean, only dropping 9 rounds in the series. Granted, that match was against FURIA, but it was clean nonetheless. And now, Lev would have to test their might against the strongest team in the region. Going into this series, we saw quite a bit of talk from Leviatan's Rossi, talking about some of the things that went on behind the scenes with the team, and why the match against FURIA was so clean.
And it's like, hey, nothing's working. And that's where the panic starts hitting. And it's like, honestly, after that is where I said, guys, just listen to me. I said, just trust me, I know what to do. And I will take full responsibility from now on about how we play and how we will do things. Will be fully up to me and the coaching staff. And if you see us do bad, and if you see us do great, just remember this. Everything that's happening from now on will be on my accord and what I believe in.
So with Rossi back as the IGL on the team and taking responsibility for their results, how would Lev look against the best of the best? The first map, Lotus, would show us an immediate change from the team, showing us the first Neon we've seen all split from Lev, but it wouldn't be King playing the Asian. Alright, I'm curious what to see this Leviatan comp is gonna look like. Like, everybody knows this Lotus. But like, why are we leaving Lotus open against G2? Huh? Demon 1 on Neon. Alright. Welcome back, Duelist 1. My bad. Demon One's return to Duelist would start quite strong, with him leading his team to a 6-6 tie in this first half against G2 on their best map.
Through, that's just gonna be Leaf hanging out, but man, there is a hell of a force coming out behind Lev right now. They gotta work quick and they gotta understand it's happening. Demon One's gonna work a little faster. Tax with the stinger, gets 2 towards Tree. Give an eye as he was trying to just be the other side of the fight, and that's Demon One screaming through with a 3K.
You should have seen what I did heaven, bro.
The second half would start with Leviatan picking up their second pistol win of the map, but G2 would buy stingers in the second round as they usually do on attack, giving them the eco win and allowing them to pull ahead barely in this half, taking the map at 13-10. The second map Fracture would once again show us Neon from Leviatan, but this time from King, while G2 would pick Waylay. This map would start hot for G2, with them opening with the 4-0 lead. Leviatan would bring this half back though, making the score a respectable 5-7 in G2's favor. The second half would open with a pistol win from G2, but a 1v2 from Tex would give Lev a thrifty win. Health on G2 either now.
But over.
Yeah, but now like, dude, Jonah, you can just relax.
Oh my god!
Wait, does he have? Oh my gosh, he has it! What an eco! In the next round though, since Leaf didn't buy up in the second round, he was able to pick up a Vandal in the third, which would lead G2 to their own eco win, making the score 9-6. And in the following round, Leviatan would have a bit of a weaker buy, but wouldn't matter much, with them pulling away with the round, and this would start a huge streak for Lev, with them going up 11-9 and eventually closing the map at 13-11, sending the series to the final map Haven.
Lev is here to get a bit of a crossfire. Or up and down.
Demon One has Molly but doesn't want to use it. Crossfire is being set up with Calm.
There it is. There it is. The world champions crossfire the round. They take it for Leviatan, and we are, ladies and gentlemen, going to a map 3.
On this last map, Demon One would be back on Duelist, this time on his signature jet. But I think G2 were tired of letting this series go on for so long.
Take out more before they even get to Leaf at this point. Slowly playing in, still looking for the flank right now. Lev stalled on everything in this strategy. The members are able to get a few kills here. Is this a kill from Tex coming out from sewers? No, it's not. And Jog is able to turn for 3 as he takes down Rossi too.
When you put up a 10-2 defense half on Haven, you've basically already won. So unfortunately, although Leviatan started the half strong with 5 rounds in a row, G2 would close the map at 13-7, giving them the series at 2-1 and putting Leviatan at 1-3 in their group.
And Rossi tries to get in with the classic, and so does Tom. What are you doing, guys? Toe together. Trent's gonna pick up the 2 kills. G2's gonna pick up the win, and they take Haven to take the series.
The second day would open with Cloud9 versus FURIA, a team looking for a lock on their playoff spot, playing against the worst team in the league, looking for their first win. The first map, Lotus, would show us the same comps we'd seen previously from these teams. This map would open with Cloud9 having a pretty solid attack half, taking the lead at 8-4.
22, this shot, that is a land only shot. It really, yeah, you're not getting that even on 6 ping. You need 5 minimum. That's max the ping you need to hit that. Crazy stuff, but it's just tragically not enough. This C9 team are more than a legit dark horse right now.
FURIA would pull themselves back into this match though, taking the lead and going up 12-10, putting themselves in a position to take the map. Cloud9 would push the map to overtime though, where the teams would go back and forth in attacking rounds.
And a paranoia. Here's a fast lane, and Fancy footwork won't save Havoc. There's finally able to clip his wings. And the rest of FURIA serve themselves up to the meat grinder.
Are so absurd.
And Vic doesn't know what's about to hit him here. He doesn't know how deep into beat FURIA are right now. Here's the horn. Vic's able to find one. He needed more, desperately needed more. He got left. It's Zephyr and Mitch, the initiators. But he plucks one from their midst. That is brutal.
Cosmetic.
In the end, C9 would take the map at 16-14, taking FURIA's map pick and putting C9 up 1-0 in the series.
Doubt surely creeping in. Fatigue, absolutely. They've got no choice but to go for it. Standard deliver rocks, he does so. Still, Spike going down, Rafa doesn't have any opportunity. He's stuck over towards stairs, and that is that, folks. The fake is the fake comebacks here for FURIA, but by God, they gave us a Lotus.
The second map, Pearl, would unfortunately, or fortunately depending on who you are, not look great for FURIA.
Get a Mitch has got nowhere to go, folks. Caught inside the grab well, and the end comes for us all. Price able to find one, but Vic fighting like a heli on their sides! What an ace out of nowhere, Vic!
With this operator, Oxy has just been running around doing whatever he pleases. Swaps back to the Vandal in this instance. ADS looking like prime yay on Optic.
Let's go.
Thank you for that.
I can aim. I can aim. I can aim. Let's go.
Gonna get busy. Mitch with the operator deals with Khalil, and in your face, F forgets. It's gonna be a 1-for-1. 3 left here for FURIA now. Cloud9 starting to accelerate. 20 health in a dream. Oxy getting into half now, and surely of all rounds, FURIA would get there. But
Cloud9 would demolish FURIA on this map, taking it at 13-1, giving them the series at 2-0, and securing their playoff spot.
a relaxing end to the series if you're a Cloud9 fan, as you know your team have just secured their spot in our Stage 1 playoffs.
The second series of the second day was Sentinels versus Loud, and once again, Loud would be coming in with the roster change. Loud were sitting at a sad 0-3 coming into this series, and after a rough loss to 100 Thieves, another change was made. Vinny, the recently signed IGL, would be getting benched, and Thieves would come back into the team, while Pencado would be the team's new IGL. At this point, Loud's chances at playoffs were completely shot, so this match would just be for pride and a chance at a champion's point. On the other side, Sentinels were coming off of a clean win against Evil Geniuses, and looking to lock in their spot in the playoffs with a win over Loud. The first map split would show us a slight change from Loud in their comp, putting DGs in onto Jet to replicate the comp EDG played in Bangkok. This map would open with Loud picking up the pistol, but an eco win for Sentinels will allow them to go up 3-1. On Loud's next eco round though, their newly assigned IGL Pencado would pull this out to put his team back into the game. It's fine, Sentinels win the round. Wait, no, it's 3v2, they're both so low. Pencado with the ace! Pencado, and I don't think I saw any of those kills actually.
Not even at the start of the round with that wallbang headshot to begin. His sheriff aim was
Oh my gosh.
utterly remarkable.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Pencado. That's your IGL? Sentinels would still end this half in the lead, ending it at 5-7. And Sen would open this second half strong, going up 12-6 early on, looking ready to take the opening map of the series. Loud would start pulling back rounds though, making a convincing push for overtime. Unfortunately for them, Bang would pull this out in round 23.
At least, but still is traded out instantaneously, but Bang from behind, trying to do more! Rips away to it, Elias, make it 3! And will he grab the 4 for the 1v1? Yes, he will! Bang! What a beast!
The second map, Lotus, would show us new comps from both sides, with Sentinels moving over to Neon, Tejo, and Breach, while Loud would swap out Fade from their old comp to Tejo and Cypher to Vice. This map would start with Sentinels going up 5-2, but Loud would pull the half back to a 6-6 tie.
With the pit in his face already decayed down to single digits, and he's got an inclination, and he's found it. And a hell of a time and a task for Luke Show. He's going to try and isolate that fight.
Oh, that's
Hold on.
beautiful.
Incredible peek at that.
To be smarter
The now sticking, half already. Where's the follow-up? Narrate expected to just be fake info. That is cold. Luke Show, just remarkable. Brink, man.
He is so cold out here on the stage.
And Loud would open the second half carrying over momentum from the first half, grabbing the first 4 rounds in a row. And although Sentinels would start to put up a fight towards the end, Loud would close the map in the end at 13-11, sending the series to the final map, Haven. On this last map, both sides would pick the same comps from last week, putting us into a mirror matchup. Loud would open this map with the pistol round win, but a thrifty for Sentinels will be the start of a dominant attack half, picking up 8 rounds in a row and closing the half at 9-3.
Is the question in Bruder Smoke, and it surely won't save you. Is this fight in Brew Garage? Narrate just strikes from the side. The critical one, the Jazine in and through. Sentinels, they're just filling the streets with blood. 2 years is finished, and a 9-3 half. Sentinels can be happy with it.
And in the second half, Sen would close out cleanly, taking the map at 13-5 and giving them the series at 2-1, securing Sen City their spot in the playoffs. Neri is finally putting up the performances we were seeing from him weekly while he was on Carmine Corp and EMEA, with him going plus 27 in today's series with the 62, 35, and 35 KDA.
This completely changes the game though, and it turns into a game of these timings here. Attempt to punish, denied. TP's in through the back as well, and he's on that high ground perch as he drops down, just not favoured for it. Narrate having to just absolutely slice them up.
This team is starting to get more comfortable, and I'm getting scared for everyone else, except G2 of course. The final match day of the weekend gave us 2 matches that mattered a lot for playoff qualification. Let's start with Crew versus Evil Geniuses. Crew were already locked in for playoffs, so this match for them was to try and secure the first seed in their group so they can get a first round bye for the playoffs. On the other side, EG were coming off of a rough loss to Sentinels, and were looking to secure their playoff spot with this win. On the first map Lotus, both teams would pick the same comps they had played previously, so there were no surprises going in. We would be surprised by the way this map went though, as EG would pick Crew apart.
Spamming away, Melza is going to be meeting his match. 2 EG players. He's down to Mazzino on 17 HP. It's very tough. And EG are going to be able to secure up this pistol round. Early on, a good start.
He knew it was his timing to win a round, but he couldn't quite get it. Icy had a sick deny. This kill is everything.
It is.
But they've also just been holding each other's backs.
More Red Bulls, bro. You need another one? You need like massage? Like...
When is Superman going to die?
Mazzino with the fault line has slowed them down to a degree, but there's that stun and there's that return again. Just sweeps in Superman to save the day. Discipline taking a fight together. EG are 10-2 on Crew's map pick. Need a miracle the way that EG are playing. Dawn's not broken, not deaded, but Icy!
The second map Pro would show us the same comp we'd seen from EG during their match against Sentinels, but the roles would be swapped around a bit, with Ye back on Jet for the first time since his time on Bleed, while Icy would be the one to move over to Yoru. And this swap would prove to be incredible for the team, once again dominating Crew in this first half with the tendency to attack.
Was up onto that side, the time needs to be dealt with, there's only 12 seconds left. Verno just toying with him, trying to buy that time. Nature lands it. It's a worldly of a shot, and it leaves it now down to Verno. Melza pushing through, but might not be too much of a problem to pull. It's being denied. EG, hold on, Nature. He's finding some ground here, but no coverage in for the back there, but okay, Nature's already found himself the 3-piece, but left into that 1v2. He'd have to ace to finish this one off. Kesnit round to the side just with the shoulder, and he's found that first kill. Okay, still Garden. Playing time, backs out wide, he just wants to fight. He wants to end this round here, and now, and he spots it out entirely!
Crew would fight back a bit early in the second half, but EG would end up closing out the map at 13-7, giving them the series at 2-0, and securing Evil Geniuses their spot in the playoffs.
Wait.
Oh! Derek with the bucket for 2! Hello? Can I get a replay of that? How did Derek just get 2 with the bucky?
And a 2-0 dismissal of Crew in an insane upset to secure their spot in the playoffs.
Quality gets loud.
Wait, hold on. Show me the bucky.
Banger now.
Yeah.
You got EG playing against loud.
You're so lame. Yeah, bro. The final match of the weekend was a match with the story of revenge written all over it. After an abysmal kickoff, NRG dropped Verno and basically went onto a podcast in every single interview talking about how he had communication issues and just overall problems as a player, turning the community against him. But Verno would find a new home on MIBR, and has been performing amazingly with high praise from the GOAT himself.
Verno, he's a really good player. I saw that people were saying that he doesn't communicate and those things, but he talks a lot. Yeah. He talks a lot in game, and he talks outside of the game as well. So he's totally different from what the people is saying in the community, because the guy is a very good person. He's a very good player, and he talks a lot in game and outside game. So it's very strange what people are doing to him, and I don't think that's something that they should do.
And while MIBR were looking like one of the better teams in Americas, sitting at 2-1, with their only loss being a 1-2 loss against the best team in the league, NRG only had one win, which was against the worst team in the league. And now, it was time for Verno to get his get back.
I have FNS in my pocket, Ethan in my pocket, Brock in my pocket, Mata in my pocket, and Sam in my pocket. Wow.
The first map, Haven, would be the first time we'd see the map from NRG this stage, and they'd pick something very close to the Fnatic comp, but with Jet instead of Yoru. Well, MIBR would pick the same comp they played last week against Cloud9. NRG would start this map on defense and open with the 4-0 lead, but in round 5 would see an insane 2v5 win from MIBR off the back of an insane 4K from Verno.
Clone out here. Cortazea just takes the clone and flashed as a result. What are we watching here? A tough climb from here. On the side they are. Artisan's able to find Brock. It is the Blade Storm that claims the breach, and now it's up to Verno. 1 versus 2, dealing with the jet ult. He's gotten himself one and some util, perhaps. Som knows he's got to leave the spike.
Does get it to half at the very least.
And there's still time. Som can get this done. He goes for a full stick in, but Verno knows it. 4 kills.
And this round would allow MIBR to pull themselves back into this map, ending the half tied at 6-6. The second half would be a complete wash from MIBR, with them picking up 7 rounds in a row to take the map at 13-6. With how the groups were shaping up, this map win for MIBR would mean they were locked in for the playoffs, and it would be off the back of an insane performance from Verno, who went 22-7 in this map, making his best map performance of the season so far.
Currently, Mata traded out, VALORANT takes a ton of damage. It's Verno that found the wallbang kill, and someone's to commit to this. NRG are hungry for the fights, and he and FNS double up for 2. Verno always seems to be there, the Wyatt always seems to be present.
The confidence to take his sweet time with this defuse.
Winning the clutch against, I guess, his closest contemporary, right?
30 seconds.
But the repeat there for VALORANT is good. Verno, again, maintains that composure to deliver MIBR so far a flawless second half.
The series wasn't over yet though, and going into the second map Icebox, we'd see mirror comps from both sides, with the Harbor Viper comp that was very popular in 2023. NRG would open this map with a pistol win, but MIBR would pick up a thrifty that would lead into a 9-3 defense half, putting them 4 rounds away from taking the series and embarrassing Verno's old team. And you could see just how good these rounds felt to win.
Lockdown forced the swing, crosshair placement perfect.
Hey! Guys are so bad, bro.
They said he wasn't vocal.
Continuing to be able to disrupt. He sees a player drop on in. It's going to be Geronimo. Geronimo, he says.
Verno.
Verno is the shock.
Verno. Yeah! Dude, you don't understand, bro. You know how happy I am to see some passion out of Verno, bro? But like, bro, this guy's passionate now.
One shot is more than enough damage.
Dude.
There's no way that NRG can get
This guy wins the round, instantly looks over at NRG, bro. He didn't even look at his teammates. MIBR would eventually close this map pretty cleanly at 13-5, giving them the series at 2-0, and making MIBR 3-1 in their group. That's it for Stage 1 Week 4, and this is what the groups look like at the end of the week. The top 4 in Group Alpha has already been decided, with Crew, 100 Thieves, Sentinels, and Evil Geniuses, while there's still one more playoff spot up for grabs in Group Omega. FURIA is out of the running, so the final match of Week 5 between NRG and Leviatan will decide who will be the final playoff team. And remember, the bottom seeded team from each group will start in the lower bracket, while the top seeded team will get to skip the first round of playoffs, making these seeding matches highly important. And now, onto the lane promo stuff. I stream all these matches live on Twitch and YouTube, as well as streaming NA Challengers matches, so if you want to interact with me live, be sure to go follow me on Twitch or just subscribe right here. I also create short form recaps of these matches on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, so go check out those links in the description to see more of me. Anyways, that's it from me.